going on, Love Jones family? This is Keith.
And I'm Carol Jones.
And this is Love Jones. So, Love Jones is talking about what? We talk about
love, relationships, ups, downs,
arguments,
trust,
makeups, communication.
Yeah.
All kind of stuff, all kind of topics. As a matter of fact, there is a topic that was brought to us, and we want to talk about that on this particular episode. So we want to title this episode The Space Between. So, babe, can you kind of elaborate?
Sure.
As far as how the topic came to you?
Sure. The topic came to me because there are a lot of couples, I've been told, that are really a little stir crazy right now if they're quarantined at home because of the virus. And so they're not used to spending that much time together. They're not used to being in close quarters together for hours upon hours at a time. And so I really wanted to do something with that because we get in a space, I think that, and I was talking to my husband, and I said, we get in a space that we always wanted to be together when we were dating, when we first met. It was about you, it was about me. I mean, I didn't want to be away from you, you didn't want to be away from me. And it's funny how we get comfortable in the relationship as time goes by. Mm-hmm. And it's sad that some of us can't really coexist in our homes together for hours upon hours at a time.
True. So we were talking about this topic and just trying to figure out how can we help some of the couples, right? So I think the thing that we have to understand is life has caused distance. Okay? Mm-hmm. You agree with that? Mm-hmm. Life has caused distance. Okay, so I think what is caused it is being, a mother, being a father, children, career, working all the time. So that's life, that's life. That's just being bogged down with so many different things, bills, concerns, family, outside family, inside family. And so those things has caused the distance. That's the space between. So now we've been put in a situation where you have no other choice but to eliminate that space, and you don't know how to coexist.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going with that? I mean, that's pretty much how she explained it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So a suggestion we were thinking about was, which we do intentionally. So, babe, can you kind of tell them what we do? We do it unconsciously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as how we coexist in the house.
We coexist in our home in a way that we really don't get in each other's space. If he's in his office and he's working, I give him the utmost respect, and I just allow him to do that. And if I need him for anything, I knock on the door, and then I go in and I try to make it as brief as possible. He's the same way. He gives me my space. He lets me, go to my prayer room and sit and work or whatever I'm up there doing. So we have those respects in place and those boundaries in place, but we also like to spend time together. So, I'll ask him, like last night, I said, hey, baby, you want to watch a movie? We had a really long day. It was a pretty challenging day. And so after we had dinner and a lot of other things transpired, I said, hey, let's watch a movie. You want to watch a movie? He said, sure. It wasn't a hesitation. He came down. The movie he wanted to watch, I'd already seen the movie. And I said, well, if you want to watch it, I will endure it a second time just so, we can watch it together. And so we have dinner together. Mm-hmm. If he cooks breakfast, because I like his breakfast over mine, but if he cooks breakfast, we sit down at the table. We have breakfast together. My son was home yesterday, so we sat at the table and had lunch together. And we're very big on that. But I think that what makes it successful for us to be at home in a confined space together is that we have that time, but we also give each other the space.
Right.
We give each other the space. And so I think it may be challenging for a lot of couples because I think what's happening is maybe you're realizing that you really don't like your partner. You love them, but you don't like them, And
that's
so
good.
That could be going on
good.
too.
That's good. I think I agree with that. Is you got to find a point that you like each other and you like being around each other. I think because life has separated and made most of you comfortable, you know, because the 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours a day as you're working, you know, you don't have to try to entertain the other person. You don't have to try to make sure that the other person is okay, you know, anything like that. And I think now it forces you, you know, it forces you to really deal with the space between. And so I think that we deal with it differently, and we giving this a suggestion to you is respect each other's space. Yeah. 1, 2, you gotta like each other. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I mean, you know, it's okay if he's upstairs, you downstairs. You know, it's not one of them situations where, you know, babe, what are you doing? And he's like, oh my God, I just talked to you 5 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, you know, because now you're getting
back on the knee.
Yeah, and that's a problem for a lot of couples. Yeah. Either man could be needy, the wife could be needy. So you got to really think about that, you know, and that could really cause strife in the marriage. And cause difficulties to the point that you get irritated, and then irritation causes what? Conflict, causes arguments, you know, different things like that.
Yeah. So if you are having a struggle and you don't like your spouse or your partner, let's try to figure out a way to get back to like. You have to get back to like. Yeah. So you're in this space, you're confined. In the confinement, sit down and have a talk, a conversation. Be incredibly authentic and transparent in everything that you say. Because if we're going to be stuck together, then we need to be intentional about how we're going to be stuck together. Sure. And let's not see it as being stuck together, but let's see it as an opportunity to work on our marriage. Let's see it as an opportunity to be better, to communicate better. And when he said life separates us, let me try to give some space. I believe is some space in between. So space in between couples can be children, jobs, right, hobbies, right, you know, your sisterhood, girlfriends, the fellas, right, the man cave, the she shed. There's so many things that can come between us and cause that space. So it's like, I'll never forget when we had our first child, and Keith and I were together from the time we met and started dating and fell in love and the whole thing. We went through our ups and our downs and back and forth, but we were like inseparable. Yeah, we were. I didn't want to be apart from him. He didn't want to be apart from me. We
went everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we drove everywhere, went everywhere.
Listen, we went on a trip one weekend, and it was a road trip. This man held my hand the entire drive. He drove with one hand and held my hand with the other. Yeah, now, I'm sitting there in my mind thinking, my hand is sweating. This is a hot mess, right? But that's what he wanted.
But you liked it,
yes,
though.
that's what he wanted. And but so it was cool, baby. It was cool.
I'm just saying.
I didn't say. It was kind of freaky. It was weird. Because I'm thinking, what happens if he needs this other hand while we're on the interstate? Lord, give me strength. That's my
wife, y'all. That's my wife. She always...
In all things. And in all of that, I realized that he's a touchy-feely type of guy.
I love holding hands and
and
hugs
when we did the love language, his love language is touch. Yeah. My love language is serving. So it's like I am turned on if he mops a floor or dusts a table or something. That is amazing to me. And so the space in between started happening once I had our first child. Yeah. Because when we had our first child, it went from me doting on him, having his dinner ready every night, house clean, always being at his beck and call, to now I've got to share this responsibility with our child. And he really struggled with that. Remember that? Yeah, he struggled with that.
I did because we were in that place where, you know, and then just making that, I mean, even when she was pregnant, we were doing our thing, you know, whatever, we taking pictures, you know, and showing, you know, reading to the baby, talking to the baby and everything, and then the baby happened. And
he said the baby.
Son.
My baby was born.
Well, yes, our first son.
The baby happened.
The baby happened. But in reality though, that was a huge, babe. That was huge. Yeah. I mean, that was like a major like switch on, light on, light off, and there was no in between. And so that really messed with me. I know I can honestly say, but at the same time, that's life. Yeah. That was life, and I believe that most of you have gone through that. Let's flip it on the other side. Now, empty nesters, now in the house together, and stay home dad. People stay home. Everybody's home.
Yeah.
No work, no nothing.
Yeah.
So you're like,
Yeah. So I think it's hard. I think it's challenging because we have to watch the space. We have to watch the space. So, like I said, the baby was born. That created space because I had to raise my child and nurture my child and care for my child and do everything. Mothers, you know how busy it is and how overwhelming it can be to have a baby. So that created a little space. Mm-hmm. And so because he had a hard time dealing with that, I didn't know how to bounce back to where I could, I don't want to say neglect because I've never neglect my children, but where I could not be as present for the child and be a little more present to him. And so that began to create space. And then as time went on, his job became a little more busy. And then we left Virginia, moved back here to Indiana. And that created space because I got a job that was challenging in the hours. He got a job.
But remember, I had 2 jobs.
Yeah, and so that was challenging. Yeah, and so that created a little more space because what happened is our routine began where he would go from one job to the next. And I would come home from work and I was dealing with our son by myself because he was working the second job. Then we ended up having our youngest child. And after we had him, that created some space because now I've got 2 kids and a husband and job and all of that. So it was always a little bit of space being created. And I think that where we tripped up was we would disagree or argue about the space, but we were never trying to fill the space. We weren't trying to close it and put it back together.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
So that's why I said sit down and talk with each other and say, okay, how did we get here? How did we get here? I say all the time when we teach couples or classes, whatever we did to attract each other and get each other, we got to maintain that. And so if you're doting on him and giving him all of this, or he's doting on you and giving you everything, and then all of a sudden that shifts, you got to find your way back somehow. And that means intentionality steps in.
That's true. So let's flip it on the other side where you've got a wife that wants the husband, like, I want you, I need you. And then he's like, please stop, just like, hey, time out.
Yeah.
Give me my space.
That is not me.
No, that's just for clarity's sake. So, so what if you have the husband that is like, time out, enough, and he's getting agitated? So ladies, this is my suggestion. Okay. Be intentional. Have a conversation. Say, babe, am I getting on your nerves? He says yes. Please don't break down and cry. Don't get offended.
We are not all
well, there are some that that are out there. No, but don't get offended. He's trying to make the adjustment of being home. Okay. He's used to work, doing his thing, and then when he comes home, okay, that's my home time, So now he's trying to fill that space of being at, from when he was at work. Now he's at home. Mm-hmm. And that's a big adjustment for a lot of men that are home that, and even if he's not working from home, but if he is working from home, give him that space, give him that thing, let him do his thing. He'll come back. He'll realize, okay, I've been working, or I haven't been working. Maybe I just need a mental space to get myself together. Give him that space. Yeah. Give him that time and say, babe, you know what? You go ahead and do your thing. Watch a movie, relax, watch some Sports Center, do whatever you need to do, and then later on, maybe we can catch a movie, or if you got kids, we'll set dinner, we'll get dinner. I'll have me and the kids can cook dinner, and then he's ready. Boom. He's fresh. He's ready. He's ready to engage the kids. He's ready to engage you. He's not in a mood. He's not in an attitude. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's just a suggestion that that I can give to the ladies. You know, if you have that needy, you know, that wife that, you know, wants her husband, you know, right there, you know, whatever. But what's the suggestion that you can give to the men?
To the men, let me see. If it's just you and your wife, then you guys can kind of do whatever y'all want to do. You know, you can run around the house and act like kids. You can have some romantic time, you know, also giving you that space. But I think that what's most important is understanding where each other is in this space. Because if he's laid off, or if he's lost the job, or the money's not rolling the way he's used to because of this situation, then you have to really stop and think he's really overwhelmed. And men don't really talk about where they are when they're worried or nervous or concerned or afraid. They're rarely going to tell us that in a way that we can really understand and receive it. Mm-hmm. They'll act it out more, from what I've seen, than they will ever speak it. And so we have to be mindful of that. And then men, you have to be mindful of her, especially if she's a mom and you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 kids running around the house. She's trying to do e-learning, keep them up on their schoolwork. Mm-hmm. She's trying to clean. Now we have to make sure these children have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks,
all kinds of stuff.
You know, try to give them some time for recess.
Especially if you got a dog. And you got kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, you know, she's got a lot going on too. And so you have to be mindful of her, that if she's in the bathroom trying to have a phone conversation with her mother, her friend, anyone, and the children are constantly knocking, mom, 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 because you're busy doing something else, you guys need to sit down and talk about it and say, you know what, babe, how about from 2 to 4, my responsibility is the children.
Or say in the mornings.
Yeah.
You know,
just
I'll
have
do the
a
morning,
schedule.
or you do the afternoon. Or
yeah, and so there are ways that, you know, we can make it through being at home. Now, we're talking strong, right?
Come on, bring
this
it back.
brother only been home a couple of days.
Bring it home.
Now, I don't know where we're going to be next week.
We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. Trust me. We're going to be fine.
We're talking strong. And
but
so
we've dealt with this before, where I've been home and, you know, and everything. And, you know, we've been here before. Yeah. So we know what to do.
But I also have those projects I've asked you to do. Okay. They haven't gotten done. So I don't know where we'll be this time next week. Check back in and we'll let you know. But just remember the space between you, because space between you is productive, but it's also dangerous.
Yeah.
Because the space between you that's productive is, like he said earlier, respecting and knowing that I need to give her space and I need to give him his space. I don't care who you are. Everybody needs a moment.
Everybody needs a woosah moment.
Everybody needs to just break away from everything and everyone and do whatever it is they need to do. And find that space. And then when you create the space that you need for yourself, tell your husband, tell your wife. My husband knows that the space I've created for myself is under the hairdryer.
And guess what?
That is my space.
I very seldom bother her.
He rarely ever comes into that room.
The only time I bother is when I'm cooking something and say, baby, you want something to eat? And she was like, yeah, okay. And, you know, that's it. But other than that, I'm not knocking on the, you know, the hairdryer, you know, on the hairdryer. Yeah. You know, I'm not doing that, you know. And I know that I respect that, because that's her woosah moment.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we have to do. We have to give each individual and respect their woosah moment. You know, if he's playing, you know, on a game or something, or if he's watching TV, what sports center, or if he just wants to take a drive or a walk, respect that and don't get an attitude with him. Just let him do his thing. He'll come back.
I got a whole problem with the game,
you know
but hey, you're a grown man
with
kids and a wife. Who is sitting on the game?
Well, first of all, I'm not a gamer. You know, my son is and whatever, but that's cool. But I'm not a gamer. But you have other men that are gamers, and
if that's how you get it, that's how you get it. I'm just saying.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Even with
that, but I think that causes conflict in homes.
That does, because
we talk to couples that struggle with that.
They get so engulfed in the game
that they're not present.
They're not present. Yes. They're not paying attention to the wife or whatever. And that could be a totally different subject. Okay, so we're not gonna go there, but the space between, you got to respect the space,
Yeah.
Okay? You have to respect each other. You have to respect that, they have to have a moment. Everybody has to have a moment.
But you have to say this is the space. Mm-hmm. You have to say that. You have to say, okay, this is my space.
Identify the space.
Because if he's down in the basement and he's down there too often, and then if I were to say, well, why are you always in the basement? Why are you always watching ESPN? Or why are you always, watching a movie? Then if I'm saying that and he has not communicated with me, well, babe, this is my space. This is just my time. I like being down here because this is the only place I feel that I can just get away from everything. Don't have to worry about, anything.
Right.
It's just my time. Then I can respect that. I won't have an attitude or be upset or feel left out or feel like he's not paying attention. So that's why it's very imperative that we communicate and identify.
And I think we do that.
The space. Oh, you and I do. I'm just talking, just
in general.
As a generalization, yes.
Yeah. I think that I agree with that. You ladies, gentlemen, communicate.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to go down the street and talk to Harry. Cool, talk to him. Come on back. As long as you come back. You know what I'm saying? But you just got to communicate. And then you hit the nail on the head. Identify the space.
Yeah. And so the space that's productive, we've talked about that. The space that's dangerous is the space where you keep creating it, but you're not talking about it. You keep creating it and you're angry with each other and you're stir crazy, as he said in the beginning of this, that, you just walk past each other in the house and it's like, ugh, when he walks past or she walks past, he's like, ugh. That's not good. That's not good.
Damn,
so that's the dangerous space is when you absolutely ignore it. There's this gaping hole there, but you ignore it. So the intentionality of the space is talking about it. I challenge you during this season, during this uncertain time, to sit down and talk and try to reconcile and get your marriage or your relationship in a really good space. Because with everything that's going on in this world, the last thing that we need is volatility in the home, chaos in the home. We need to be loving each other, getting closer together. Be intentional about closing the gap.
Yeah.
Just be intentional about that.
And respecting the gap, and then also not just, with everything you said, babe, I think here's the thing too. There has to be a point that you have to be intentional. You got to be intentional in what you're doing. If this thing with the coronavirus, when we're stay home for 30 days, then plan some stuff.
Yeah.
Say, you know what, on this day, we're going to do this. On this day, we're going to do the yard work. On this day, we're going to take the kids to, walk, just do a walk if you got kids.
Yeah. I like when we were in the grocery store earlier and I got the stuff for cookies.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, we're doing a cookie bake-off. I said, so we'll see who makes the best cookies.
Be intentional.
So, that's going to be fun. We get in the kitchen together and flour up and, be a mess together or whatever. And then decide who has the better cookie. But that's something that you do. That is something, he and I have never done that. We've had cook-offs before, like with food, but never with a baked good. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah, be intentional.
Try things you've never done before.
Be intentional. Yeah. Be intentional. Plan your days. This is what we're going to do. So it doesn't become a situation where you're trying to figure it out on that day.
Yeah.
Plan it out. You know what I'm saying? So do your thing. So I think this concludes our session with our Love Jones audience. We want to say thank you for watching our episodes. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. Invite others to come. Share. Put your comments out. Give us some topics that we can talk about. And we hope that something said, something done, encouraged you during our episode and our time with you. So, babe, take us out.
So thank you again. And we are hoping and we are praying that you are going to live famously together during this season and that you're going to talk and that you'll come out stronger and better and renewed. So have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching this episode. We want to see your likes and comments on this video. Also be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. See you next time on Love Jones.